We got a mighty Marvel X-Men update. Not only do we finally have a director that seems to be front and center to direct this film, it's a familiar name. It sounds like we've got multiple actors set up for the roles, and it looks like this team is finally coming together. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about the latest X-Men news, what's going on, and why the future of the MCU might be manifesting right before our eyes. Well, if you guys have been paying attention the last couple of days, you might have heard a lot of X-Men news. Now, as many of you know, this past week, the Thunderbolts finally dropped, and Jake Schreier, who directed the film, has now become one of Marvel's favorite new directors. Let's be fair, the film's really good, it connected with fans, and felt for many like a return to what the MCU used to be. Now, last night, the news started to break that he was one into front of the line for the new Marvel Studios X-Men reboot, and now we seem to have multiple casting updates. Now, I want to be super clear though. Apparently, Schreier is in early talks, and what this means is Marvel Studios has yet to officially sign him. If he was signed, we'd be hearing from the Hollywood trades. So this is in that negotiation phase, but many Hollywood insiders, including Jeff Snyder, believe that Schreier will ultimately be the man to lead the X-Men. Marvel Studios likes to lean into directors that find success. That's what the Russo brothers did during Phase 2 and 3. And it sounds like Schreier's home run that is the Thunderbolts, well, that's the final catalyst for him taking over this role. Now, what's interesting from Jeff Snyder, though, and, like I like to say, he's not Marvel Studios or Kevin Feige, so we're taking him with a grain of salt, but he's reporting multiple names of potential team members for this upcoming group. Now, we've heard this is going to be a whole new take on the team, and we're going to see several characters come to life that weren't as prominent in the past. Now, what Snyder is saying is he is hearing Harris Dickerson, who is likely to play Cyclops, Margaret Qualley, who's likely to play Rogue, and Julia Butters, who is likely to play Kitty Pryde, are all front and center to join the X-Men. Additionally, he's saying that 15-year-old Trinity Bliss, who's about to make her big screen debut in Avatar: The Way of Water, will take up the role of Jubilee. Now, we've heard multiple rumors of other characters already being part of this, including Hunter Schafer as Mystique, Ayo Edebiri as Storm, and Javier Bardem as Mr. Sinister. So it sounds like at this point, this team is really coming together and starting to mirror the X-Men 97 series, which is something we've been hearing about for a really long time. Now, Snyder did go on to say, and this is where it gets interesting, that some of these new X-Men team members are expected to debut in the two-part finale of the Avengers saga, suggesting Marvel does have plans to introduce these characters before we move into what we're hearing is Kevin Feige's 10-year plan for the mutant saga. Now, recently Kevin Feige actually said, and I quote, "I think you will see that continues in our next few movies with some X-Men players that you might recognize." Right after that, the whole story of Secret Wars really leads us into a new age of mutants and of the X-Men. Again, it's one of those dreams come true. We finally have the X-Men back. Now, all of this sounds like really great news. And, Jeff Snyder has gotten a lot of scoops right in the past, but we're going to cautiously proceed here. Now, as far as all these castings go, one thing I think we should really notice is the age factor associated with many of these X-Men characters. They're definitely leaning on the younger side. And if Kevin Feige is truly planning a 10-year plan for the mutants, well, grabbing younger actors and actresses to fill those roles is going to be absolutely key, because he's going to need them to stick around. Honestly, never underestimate the power of the X-Men. Last year's Deadpool and Wolverine film is a testament to that. And the long-running nostalgia with specifically moviegoers in these characters cannot be underestimated. Now, as far as bringing on Jake Schreier as the director, well, I feel like looking to the Thunderbolts is a pretty great way to figure out how this is going to work. He did a pretty great job bringing this team of characters together, but he had one advantage here that he's going to have to overcome in these new X-Men films, and that solution might already be apparent. One of the nice things about the MCU and the way they create teams is we often get to know these characters before they join the team. We met Yelena Belova in Black Widow and Hawkeye, we got to know John Walker in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then we even met Ghost in Ant-Man and the Wasp. So the characters themselves aren't new. We've already got an association with them, and building a team of characters from scratch can be difficult. I mean, just look to the Eternals. Bryan Singer did a great job with that first X-Men movie, bringing in so many characters all at one time and connecting them to fans. And I think this is going to be a new challenge for Schreier, but if some of these characters make some kind of debut in Secret Wars or Doomsday, along with the fan association with the characters because people know who they are, well, he might have himself a position to put these pieces together in a way that nobody has ever been able to do before. He really did deliver emotionally with the Thunderbolts, and connecting the X-Men to people in the same way is going to be, well, probably as important. In an era that superheroes have kind of saturated the screen, it's about the characters, not the powers, and not the spectacle. And he did a pretty great job with, honestly, a group of fairly mundane characters, well, minus the Sentry, in a film that we actually cared about. So what he could do with the X-Men might take it to a whole new level. Now, like I said, none of this has been confirmed as of today, but we're keeping a super close eye on it. I like all the castings, I like Schreier in charge, and I like that Marvel Studios is going to return to the era of mutants, something many fans, like myself, have wanted for a really long time. So, what do you guys think? How do you feel about Jake Schreier set up to helm the upcoming X-Men reboot at Marvel Studios? And is there a particular casting here you think is spot on? Tell me what you think in the comments below. Before we take off, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily Marvel and DC news, and we want to bring you all the news truthfully and transparently so you're really in the know.